you. This is gonna sound weird. You guys see my bedroom, right?
Now I want to look at your bedroom. What is going on?
Welcome to the playbook. Is it smart to buy a home in 2023? And to answer that question, we have a very good friend of ours, Rena, the realtor. She's going to help us with that query. Rena, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing, Lion?
I'm doing excellent. Doc, let the people know, how do we know our special guest today?
Yeah, so we know each other from the scene, but we got to be friends, really good friends along the way. I learned a lot of things about her. One, I didn't. Now I believe that you speak multiple languages, not just.
Spanish, English, a little bit of French.
I didn't know that. Look at that.
Yes. Je parle français, mon ami.
Ooh, lele.
Stop,
Ooh,
girl.
lele. That's all I know. I don't know if that even works.
Girl, stop.
Is it ooh la la? I don't know.
We and French fries. That's my scope. You know what I'm saying? I have some other stuff to say when we have our guests who speak Sprechen Sie Deutsch, sprechen ein bisschen Deutsch.
All right, here we go.
That's so sexy.
No.
I know, right.
Listen, I speak Spanish. I'm barely English. So that's where I'm at right now. You're throwing
I speak
other
English and
languages.
barely Spanish.
So yeah, tell us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rena, the realtor. I have been in real estate over 10 years now. I have lived in the Tampa Bay area for well over 20 years. And so I love Tampa. I love my city. And one of my passions is helping people. I love to help people to become realtors or to even become better realtors, become better people, and also to find the right house for them. As a minority, as a woman, it is hard for us to know what the steps are and what we need to do and that we can do it and we can purchase properties. And so that's one of my passions.
Now, let me ask you, just to start, to put you into the forefront of everything. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, it's a question for myself. I do not own a home, but I might be looking. What should someone that's looking to buy a home start doing right now? They say that they're buying within a year, within 2 years. What should they start doing right now?
Well, you need to decide to buy, because once you decide to buy, you need to change your life. You need to make sure that you make the right financial decisions that are going to take you to where you can get approved by a lender. Especially if you've made bad decisions. We've all made bad decisions in our life.
Nope.
Nope.
Tracy's
Sorry,
no.
Doc's
Tracy.
never made a
With
bad
the
decision.
exception of the
Doc.
saint over here, Doc.
Well,
Sorry, Doc.
No, I've made some bad decisions too, but it was before the internet, so
But
no
it
one
was,
could prove
it
it.
was not about real estate, I'm sure. It has nothing to do with real
Exactly.
estate.
Yeah, more
Or
like
finances.
ex-wives. Yeah, that. No baby's mama.
I
It's just
know.
ex-wife. So.
So basically, start fixing your credit history. If you have bad credit history, is step one. You want to look at your finances realistically and see what you can cut down on, because you're going to need some sort of money to purchase a house. You need a down payment. You need to have money for prepaid costs. And you need to have money just to have savings in the bank in case something does happen after you buy the home. So start off looking at where you are, where you stand realistically, and go forward and take steps.
Now, what's the typical credit score where you want to be at to start looking for, like, to get approved or pre-approval?
To get a pre-approval or on a loan, technically you can get one with a 500, but that's not, you're gonna get shit rates. Can I curse on this?
I like
Yes, you
it.
can.
Sorry.
Let it
You're
rip.
gonna get shit rates if you are at 500. Not that it's just being honest. You're gonna get the worst rates. You're gonna go as way higher. If we're at 8, you're probably gonna be at 10.
In terms of interest,
So
you mean
as
in
far
terms
as
of
interest
right?
rates,
Probably
yeah.
higher.
And exactly.
Yeah.
So, but if you want to be at a decent area of rates, at least 620.
Or
So-
if you want to ask Rena out on a date, she said, don't ask her out with a 500.
700 and above.
So if you got 695, you're scratching out.
You're shit out of luck.
To Shano, one of our good friends, shout out to you, Cordell. And just to be graphic on this, pay your bills on time.
Pay your bills on time, and even if you've made some mistakes, go back
Facts.
and look at your credit report.
You've been doing this for over 10 years, so you got plenty of experience. What is the status of the market right now? What's happening with the real estate market?
is this a good time to buy in the market? More importantly,
See, I'm biased.
exactly.
No,
just
I'm not.
guys.
No, in my professional opinion, whether it's a good time or not is a very personal decision.
Okay.
It more or less depends on whether the buyer is ready and has the financial capacity to purchase the properties that they want. But as far as market goes, right now I do think it's a good time to buy because over time, home prices are always appreciating.
Okay.
So, what experts like me, and when I look at the market and things that are happening, we're expecting the real estate market and houses to go up around 8%. So, if you don't buy right now and you wait a year or 2 years, that's an 8% appreciation rate that you're technically losing.
See I got two questions about that.
Go
One
ahead.
story real quick because I had experience with Jay, you know our friend Jay, and he has 18 units right now.
From the dancing?
No.
Okay.
But he has 18 units right now, and this goes all the way back to '05. And he started out just scraping pennies together, paying more than he had renters in there, but he still had to cover the difference on the mortgage and things like that. And lo and behold, a year or two later, well, no, maybe not a year or two later, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years later, he popped up with like $100,000 worth of equity in those homes, and all of a sudden he went from being upside down to right side up.
Or as we say, in the black, baby.
Exactly, exactly. And so,
Passenger 57, always been on black.
knowing that, I had a coworker who was I'm in IT. I had a coworker who was 25 years old, and he was making money. He was making a lot of money, and he was thinking about either buying a condo or renting a really nice apartment that was downtown in the middle of the action and everything like that. And I said, dude, just buy the condo. And I told him a story about Jer, and I said, dude, before you know it, you pop up with like $100,000 worth of equity, especially in this market. That was 2019. Guess what happened? Pandemic happened. Everybody in Tampa got at least $100,000 reevaluation of their homes, at least if their houses. Some people $200,000, some people double, and he didn't buy. So, to your point,
He missed out.
exactly. To your point, it is a good time to buy.
Okay, it's always. Let me say.
Go ahead,
something.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's always there's something I always talk about, and you're gonna hear it a zillion times because it's a financial term called the cost benefit analysis, right? But for me, like my whole martial arts yin and yang balance thing, that is kind of conceptually the way I describe how I live my life. There's any decision I make, whether it be personal, professional, financial, there's a cost benefit. If I want to buy a car, what does it cost? We talked about that, to purchase it, to maintain it, versus the benefit being maybe not so tangible that I am able to drive a vehicle I really love to drive and it makes me happy, which is kind of it's more subjective than than
more of an
objective.
emotion.
Right. But still, so whether it's that or it's to date somebody, do you want to go out on a date with this person or not? It's like, what are the pros and the cons? You should be making those kind of analysis in whatever you do in your life, So like, if you look at home ownership, like you said, you said something that properties always appreciate, but like it depends on where you are. Like there's like I have my wife and some friends were looking at some properties in a place in Kentucky where they may not be as easy to rent with the current. When you look at what the current interest rates are, if you purchase it as an investment property,
Right.
you may end up not breaking even or being in the black initially because of the interest rates and
I
what
see
you
where
can
you're
rent
going.
it for.
Yeah.
Versus like, and I'll say this and you can weigh in on this. I have a number of friends, some who like have come to me, and I say a number, I mean more than a handful. I gave the advice that you gave about purchasing, buy something there, but and they did not. And then Tampa happened. Now, depending on what publication you read or what data you read, Tampa had one of the largest, if not the largest, appreciation in growth
Absolutely.
in housing markets in the country.
Absolutely.
You talk about $100,000
Thank
in
you, Tampa.
equity. Yeah, Tampa Bay, baby. The only thing bad about stuff going up in Tampa is because people are like, I could sell and make $200,000 or $300,000 equity.
But then
But
you
if you're
gotta
going to live
You get
here,
priced out the market.
you're gonna still spend that much equity, or what you made, you're going to spend.
'Cause it's going
live
up
here.
all around.
Everywhere.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's going up all-
But 41, the number I read, I think it was like in, I don't know if it was Forbes or Newsweek, 41% The average home in
Yep.
Tampa appreciated 41%.
Look at the
During the
prices.
pandemic, yeah.
Go on Zillow and look at the prices in 2019 versus even 2022, 23. It was unreal.
Just from last year, we appreciated about 11%.
From my
Wow.
understanding,
That's
one
crazy.
thing is like around the country, like prices they seem to be going down, but Florida is different because Florida, from the last report I read, we're getting about, at least from California, around 900 people moving from California over to Florida, which they have higher salaries. They're working from home, so they're able to afford these higher prices, while the people that were native here, living here with Florida wages, will struggle a little more than to be able to buy a home.
A lot of
or
people
rent.
have roommates now that didn't want
This
them.
This is
is
true.
why we have a shortage still happening in Florida. There are some states that have regulated a little bit and have a little bit more of inventory, but Florida doesn't as much. Because we have such an influx of people moving to our state, not just from California, but New York. New York is huge.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Boston.
And to your point, Tracy, opportunity cost is the term that I was taught in economics class. What you have to weigh in, if I don't do X, was that going to cost me? So if you don't buy now, how much potential equity in my home that I would have bought would I have lost? So what we're saying is you're going to lose that. And yes, people are scared because interest rates are really, really high. But what I want you guys to know is, although interest rates are high, you can refinance. So I want you
you.
guys to,
Thank
and
you.
I actually did a
That's
video
why we
on
have the
this.
expert.
Yeah.
I don't
She's
have to
selling.
talk
She's
about it
selling.
now.
She's on the show, but she's
Go
selling
ahead.
right now.
I was gonna
Where's
say
my
the same thing.
popcorn?
That's right. Go ahead.
Have you
go
guys
ahead
heard
and preach.
of date the rate, marry the house? Date the rate, marry the house.
Never heard of it,
Never
but I
heard of
like
it.
where
But I
you're
like
going.
it.
I know where
sounds-
you're going.
Sounds sexy.
I
Yeah.
didn't make it up.
Sounds sexy.
I didn't make it up. It's not, I can't claim it, but I love it because I want you guys to focus on the rates. They fluctuate way faster than the market actually fluctuates. Rates go up and down, but the market generally tends to trend upward. So the prices of homes, unless, excuse me, we have another pandemic, which when was the last time something like that
Oh my
happened?
gosh.
Never.
A
We don't want it
depression.
again. We
Thank
don't want
you.
it again.
Unless we have
Yeah.
something like that, the costs of homes are generally going to trend up. You're generally going to appreciate over the longer period of time. Unless you're looking to flip or something like that, it's
The
You're
money
holding it
is in the
longer.
long term.
Thank you. You're going to hold the property. Most buyers stay in a house at least 5 years. That means you are gaining appreciation. You're gaining equity. So if you can afford, this is my point. If you can afford the mortgage rate right now, or the mortgage payment right now at the current rates, and you're comfortable with the price that you are paying for the house that you want, buy the house. Buy the house. Why do you want to buy the house? Because you're dating the rate. You can afford it right now for a short period of time, a year, 2 years, 6 months. When the rate comes down, refinance.
Switch them out.
So refinance.
Bring them out. Bring them
Yeah,
out.
yeah, and it's
Tell-
it's funny because I wanted to point that out. You already got to it before me, being the expert. The refinance is amazing because one, your payment goes down depending upon how you structure it. Possibly with equity, you can get some cash back
Yep.
if need be, and you can use that for future investments. Think about another real estate property right now, and forgive
A
me.
sports car.
Yeah, exactly.
Improvements on the home.
Exactly.
So remember, guys, if you gotta tell your rate. Hey, baby, it's not you. It's me.
It's definitely me. No, one thing that I want to point about your friend Jay was very smart about it because he was basically, taking the holding cost. That's what you call holding costs when you have a property that is costing you money. You're paying for basically the right to own the house and control that property. And your tenants are helping you pay for part of that, but maybe
Absolutely.
you're in the red, right?
Yeah.
But what you have to kind of analyze is this red or is this cost, let's say $100, $500, $600, $1,000, whatever it may be, is it worth the appreciation that I will gain in the long run?
Right.
And guess what happens every year if you're renting? The price goes up. In only a
up.
few years, he was good. And right now, he's had one property right outside of New York, which is practically doubled in rent. So it's, like you said, marry the house. So for people that own a house that are looking to get the most out of their house, what are some improvements or things that they can do
Tricks
to the
of the
house
trade.
to improve the value, increase the value?
So most people think like big ticket items like pools are a thing. That's not a thing. What
So, hold on.
I would
Can-
say, sorry, that's your follow up, I'm sure.
Yeah, so let's extrapolate on that because I know you got some input. So you're saying if I pay, how much pools go for now? Like $40,000, $50,000?
Anywhere from 25
Bro.
to 50,
Oh,
depending.
that's so
if you go
cute.
fancy, if you go fancy, it'll
If
be
you go
more money.
dock,
140.
yeah.
Okay, no.
Dog,
if
dog,
you go
no.
dock size,
We'll show you the pool one day.
I didn't know though. I wasn't like your boy said. I wasn't ready.
there are other things involved, not
Yeah.
just like the
Dog
digging
is
out of
like-
the pool.
Exactly,
There's
so-
like permits, etc. So, anyways, but the best investments is updating your kitchens, update your bathrooms, do things that are like kind of in the heart of the home. Those are the best return on investments, and you don't have to go fancy. So, on the other coin, I know is don't necessarily adding a pool will literally only give you back about 15 to 25% of the cost of the pool. So you spent how much? 100 and what?
We're
That's
not-
how much you was.
Dog is like,
So you get back in like equity technically only about at a maximum 25%.
Right. So, but now I'm going to play the devil's advocate now.
Go ahead, fire
Okay.
away.
So you have to look at, and I know you're going to agree with me, so that's why I like saying this anyway. That if your house didn't have a pool, you add a pool. What she's saying is correct.
Yes.
In an average neighborhood.
Yes.
But the neighborhood and the demographic that you're surrounded by makes a difference because if you had a
does.
house in this neighborhood without a pool, it would probably
sit there.
a third. Yeah, you wouldn't sell it. You'd have to drop a third off the cost to sell it because it didn't have a pool because no one wants a neighborhood in this. Versus my last neighborhood, probably maybe like this neighborhood, 90+% of the houses have pools. In my last neighborhood, my community, it probably was maybe 20% of the houses did have a pool. So if you added a pool, it was because you liked it. And the pool, and that's what was funny because my pool cost over there when we built the house when I was still retired from the military, didn't have a pool. We did some estimates, looked at doing a pool. The pool cost was around what you were saying. I think what we ended up falling was about $52,000, $58,000. So I thought that's kind of where pools ran until I moved here and designed this pool. But that was the thing. We ended up not doing the pool when we decided we were going to build our dream house, build a bigger house.
Yeah.
And because of exactly what she's saying, it wasn't going to add enough value. And in that market, it wasn't like people were going to say, I'm not going to buy your house because it doesn't have a pool. So what we did was we built out a nice whole back room with a hot tub and a spa, and it was like a Zen garden with a water fountain and a spa and all this other stuff, and it's really nice. And it actually added more value to the house than a pool would have added, but it was like literally
At a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, a
Yes.
quarter of the cost. You know,
So you're absolutely right. As far as the pool goes, and adding the pool, generally for the normal average run-of-the-mill house, it's not going to give you the returns. On a higher luxury property, it could. I still am not 100% sure that it's going to give you back what you spent on it, as far as an equity building, though.
I think
I
if
don't know
you
that
do
I
it
agree
after
with
the
that.
fact, maybe not.
But as you're building it,
But when I look at the numbers now of what we paid for our house, including the pool,
yeah.
and what our house is worth,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
but
you
that's
guys
not
built from the
directly.
ground up.
But that's
so
not.
it's
Yeah, but that's
different.
not directly
Yeah, that's all
attributed to
together.
the pool,
Yeah.
right? So,
It's
so
not-
like I said,
it's-
I don't.
I
yeah.
think both are true. I got a quick question because I had experience with this on two occasions, and I want to know if you've encountered this or not. Solar panels. About once a week, somebody knocks on my door trying to sell me some solar
yeah.
panels, and I tell them to kick rocks with flip flops. So,
Okay.
Or you better say the
Kick
planet.
rocks
East.
with
Come on.
flip-flops.
no, dude, yeah. So it's a problem because what I read, because we actually the first time we had somebody come in, we talked to them, we told them what the concerns are, and they assured us that there was nothing of the such whatsoever, and just sign on the dotted line. We did, and then you had like 3 days to reverse it. The guy left. We read the paperwork like the next day that they sent over, and it was the exact opposite of what he said, which was the fact that if you sell the house, basically they get first right of refusal. They have to get paid out, and they can decide whether they'll allow you to sell the house or not because they got a lien on it.
It's shady. A lot of it's shady
Exactly.
sales
It
tactics.
is shady
yeah.
sales tactic, and it is true though. They do put a lien on your home.
Yep.
I actually had a seller last year that had the same issue, but it's not necessarily a deterrent from selling your house or from getting solar panels. It's just you have to be aware of the fact that if you get solar panels, you have to pay that off at the closing table in order for the solar panel company to release the lien, just like your mortgage company is requiring you to pay their mortgage so that they can release the lien for your new buyer.
So for me as a homeowner, what that means is that if I did have solar panels, which I don't, and I'll tell you another situation that I had, they would eat into your equity. The money that you're getting back, whatever the remaining balance is, they'd be like, "Yo, thank you," and take that from you.
Yes.
Which is nonsense, right? For me, as a homeowner, I wouldn't do it. We didn't do it. But I also had an uncle that was trying to sell a home. A company came in to buy it, and the solar panel was like, "We don't sell to companies. Find somebody else," and ruined the deal.
Wow.
I have never seen that.
Yeah, see, that's
That's a
why
good nugget of information there.
cost benefit analysis, and there's nothing I would, if I could give people a couple of pieces of advice that they should take to heart. It doesn't matter a good accountant, as we spoke about, especially if you have any kind of independent business corporation, S corp, LLC, or whatever, is invaluable. Don't try to figure that stuff out yourself. Get a great accountant and a great attorney, tax attorney, because a good attorney. If I was doing something like that at this point now, we have an attorney on retainer. I'm going to give them that stuff to read over. I'll read over it. I can have it understood, but I'm going to let them look at it, and then they're going to catch that stuff.
Absolutely.
So you don't,
But the thing is in order for that not to eat into your equity, you would have to pay it in full.
Exactly.
So basically,
Right.
if you're going to get solar panels and you don't want them, and you don't want to have to take that out of your equity when you sell the house and then have a lower net when you sell it, then just pay it off before you even sell the house.
We looked at the
Or
Tesla power
Don't
block.
buy solar panels.
Okay.
Because you're buying something. That's the whole thing. They say,
You're
"Oh,
buying
you get
huge
these,
ticket
you
items.
get these tax credits, you get everything. You're paying money for them." So for me as a homeowner,
It didn't
they
make
come
sense.
and knock on your door and try to sell you something that you don't want. And then when it comes time to sell it or whatever, they're like, "Hey, pay me my money."
He's passionate
and it's
about
like,
this.
dude,
I was
gonna
no.
say,
This is-
Feel some type of way about
This
it.
is my thing about the solar panels, and I think you and I are on the same page. Solar panels companies will come and sell you on it, and they will say, "Oh, well, your monthly electric bill is going to go down to $6
Yeah.
a month, and here's
Yeah.
a prior buyer that bought with us, and their bill is only $6 a month." Yes, but how much am I paying for the loan on the solar panel every month?
Exactly.
So a $30,000 to $50,000 loan, you're paying $200 to $300
time
a
it's
month,
paid off.
$400 a month. It just depends
It
on
would
where
take over
you
10
are.
years. for you
Cost
to,
benefit-
to
cost
start
benefit
seeing the
analysis,
benefits of
baby.
it.
Yes, opportunity cost benefit analysis. Like you
right.
have to make sure that if you're going to buy the solar panel, you have to be aware that you are basically, like you said, using the equity on your home to pay for that solar panel.
Well, I'm not
and
putting
if
those
you're
things-
selling it, it's not really worth it if you're gonna sell it in a few years.
Right. You're not going to reap. You're not going to.
You're
Exactly.
not reaping the benefits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By the time you pay off the solar panels, another thing that my dad pointed out, because he was thinking about it too, is by the time you sell off the solar panels, you have to replace the panels again.
Exactly. Thank you.
And
That
then
was
you're
also-
never gonna
yes.
you're never not going to be paying for your
Yep.
solar panels. So your electric bill is still not going to be $6.
It's-
It's going to be $6 plus the cost of the electric.
Because guess
of the
what?
panels.
The electric companies have lobbyists in the White House, not the White House, in Capitol Hill. They also have
Congress.
and they also thank you. They also have lobbyists in Tallahassee. If you're in Florida, dude, like you're not going to beat that system.
Well, yeah. Do some research if you're thinking about it. Okay, because now this will be the environmentally responsible person. I think in theory, solar panels are a great thing,
In
right?
theory.
In theory, but what the thing is, when I first learned about them, okay, because I did some research about like some of the Tesla does some stuff that's pretty impressive, right?
Absolutely, I like that. I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, we were looking at just purchasing it outright, so I wasn't going to owe anybody anything, and it wasn't. But one of the things is for me, okay, I put pretty Spanish terracotta tiles on my roof, and the solar panels are going to be ugly. So if I was gonna get,
The
it's
Tesla
like,
tile?
yeah, I would have done that, incorporated that into the original design of the house, so it looked it flowed and didn't take away from the aesthetics of the house. That's
Yeah.
one thing. Two, it's not like I thought that it was going to be. After doing some research, it's like you're still working with a system that is linked to the electric company. Like the only way I would do solar panels is if I built me, if I had a few acres in Texas or something or wherever, and I was off grid. So it's like I'm generating my power for my battery that runs my. So I don't have any discussion with the electric company because I have no business with you. You know,
Exactly.
It's my, but like that's not. I was a learning experience for me because I knew some people that did the same thing, and they were like, "Oh yeah, but the electric." I was like, "Why you?" I thought the point was that you generate your own power and you don't need the electric company, so you still are.
Yeah, you
You're
have
still
to make a
connected.
choice whether you're on grid or off grid. Like you can't be like, "Oh, I want to do this," and then if I need you guys, it's like, no, you got to either pick one or the other.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that till very recently, and then at which point I felt very much like you do about the solar.
It's like,
panel.
why?
What's
Why don't I want
the
it?
point?
Well, the
Yeah.
point is that you're being environmentally conscious and you're helping our environment, but you're still having a cost. I think the problem is that solar panel companies are selling it as if, your cost is going to go down, and that's their biggest selling point.
Exactly.
But technically, if you're going to go with solar panels, choose it because you want to be environmentally sane. Like you want to help our environments, you want to be safe.
I do.
You want to choose it for that reason, not because you're going to be saving money on your electric
But
bill.
not at the cost of making my roof ugly right now. I just
Not at the cost of my
Nobody
pockets.
wants to
I'm good.
make it look ugly.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
What I got a question about home automation. Does that add any value? Does that help out, or do people care?
People care, but it's not a deal breaker, and it's not something people are generally willing to spend more for.
Okay.
So most buyers I find, especially in like the normal market, not the Tracy market.
Stop.
He
lives in
Sorry,
it's
Doc.
an okay neighborhood.
Dock market.
It's an okay
In this
neighborhood.
We had to
okay
lock
neighborhood.
the doors.
They generally like it, they want it, but it's not a deal breaker, and they're willing to do small updates and do it themselves versus paying a premium for it.
Right, because right now we're in the process of doing some home automation stuff. I was back and forth and kind of undecided. There's a system called Control 4 that people will kind of because there are ways you can do this. Like if you're kind of tech savvy, you can go to Best Buy and buy some stuff and do some
And
cool
put it
stuff around the house.
yourself.
Right, but
Not Best Buy, but go on.
or some
You gotta get into this.
For
Come on.
that, half of it.
yeah, but yeah, but the problem with that is that like it's still you have a bunch of little networks operating on their own, and I wanted something that I could pull up one app on my phone, deal with my security cameras, deal with my alarm, deal with my garage doors, deal with my locks, deal with the lighting, and it's all one app.
Yeah.
And it's kind of symbiotic, But the problem is that in designing it, I wanted to make sure if it went down, that I was gonna also be able to watch TV in my bedroom or my family room. You know what I mean?
That's important. Yeah.
Because I know a lot
You
of
mean
people.
like the internet, or what do you mean?
Important
down?
thing.
Well,
No,
I'm not following
the
you.
systems
The system.
crash.
Yeah.
But if
Still watch TV.
But
Yeah,
Doc,
you can
Doc,
still watch TV,
You
Doc.
mean you don't appreciate your robot butler that you have downstairs?
I want one of those.
I robot, baby.
Now, Rena, switching gears a little bit.
Transitioning.
That was a delay. That was a
Moving on.
segue. Transitioning to something you mentioned earlier that aside from selling real estate, you also help people get into real estate. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, I mean by that, I just kind of like, I haven't started like a business like getting people into it. I just kind of, whenever there's a new agent in the office or around me, or I meet them and social networking and things like that, I just love to tell them the things that I wasn't told when I started.
What is your favorite part about being a real estate agent?
Helping people. Like overall, in general, I just love helping people. I love seeing the homes.
You don't like the
and,
money?
like,
Come
I
on.
mean, everybody.
I'm gonna hit you hard.
I thought that wasn't said.
I turn it
real
down
estate
every
person I
time.
know,
I
every
turn
real
it down.
estate
Every
person
time.
I
I do
know.
it for the love.
I do it because I want to help people.
I want to help people. No.
It started with myself. Like,
Hey, charity starts at home. Yes, it does.
But the thing is about the money, it's not like if you're not busting your butt, it's not as consistent. It's like an up and down thing. Like, yeah, you can make it consistent.
so you mean
So you can't focus on the money, because the more that you focus on the money, the more that it's kind of like,
you mean if I want to do real estate in the weekends, Am I off time? It's not. We're not there.
Hopefully
It's
you have a
doable.
day job.
Hopefully you have a day job, but you could do it. No, but on the real though, my favorite thing is just helping people because for me, when someone walks into their home and they find their home and they get that contract and they get that closing, it's a good, happy feeling. The money is the icing on the cake. It's a freaking great icing on the cake, but it's the icing on the cake.
What's the flavor?
It's
Cream. So look,
chocolate.
There you go.
that's a good. Chocolate is good. Chocolate's good. Thank you.
She can come back on the show.
Sexy chocolate, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. There's something I heard you talk about in our casual conversation about real estate. That was a technique people are using to be able to get into homes they potentially were kind of maybe going to struggle to afford and still be able to afford the mortgage by getting a little assistance from like maybe a guest.
Trade.
Yeah.
Yes. So not everybody's aware of these techniques, especially, our people of color and our Latinos. They don't necessarily know what it is. So if you are a first-time home buyer, even if you have already a home, or if you feel that you can't afford the mortgage, house hacking is for you. So you want to make sure that you run the numbers properly, and if you need help with that, I would love to help you. But what house hacking is basically
Let her help you.
You are buying a property that either has an extra unit, a mother-in-law unit, a garage apartment, or a space that you can add to it and turn into an extra unit or a garage apartment legally, please, because that hurts you in the resale if it's
Yep.
not converted legally.
They'll get you in the long run.
Yes. So you buy this type of property and you run the numbers and you make sure that the rent is either A, going to cover all or most of your mortgage, or most of your mortgage. B is going to cover most of your mortgage and then some. Sometimes, depending on the area of town that you want to live in, if you want to live in like a fancier area, then you're going to house hack to just be able to afford that neighborhood. So basically, if your mortgage payment is $3,000, but you have a tenant that rents your 2-bedroom apartment in the back, or whatever, this neighborhood would never have that kind of area. But anyways,
The HOA wouldn't allow it.
HOA will not allow it.
HOA.
However,
Yeah, that's
the tenant could be paying $1,500, and then you're only paying $1,500 for a $3,000 a month neighborhood or $4,000 a month neighborhood. That's what house hacking is. Basically, you're buying a property that you can rent a portion of the property to either help you with your mortgage or cover your mortgage in full.
So renting, Airbnb, things of the sort will be considered
Absolutely.
house hacking.
Airbnb, yes. If you're Airbnb-ing a portion of your home, that's house hacking. You're living on the property and you're renting a portion of it, whether it's short-term, mid-term, or long-term. It's house hacking.
I have a couple
So-
friends who do that now.
Yeah, and tell you a quick story. You remember my old house, Tracy and Lion remembers as well. You this is gonna sound weird. You guys see my bedroom, right?
Now I want to see your bedroom. What is going on?
No, it was super.
I know what
the
you're
bed,
talking about.
He's gonna deny it.
yeah, but no, the bedroom was super long, and that's because I'm gonna get out of this. I promise.
One time at band camp,
That's what she said.
right?
Everyone said that when they came into my bedroom. No, but but no, the
This man
bedroom
left.
exactly. The bedroom was super long because it originally was a garage. And that's why
Okay.
the owner, I think it was one or two owners before, had converted it, and he rented that out. That's why it actually had a side entry and everything like that. And it's funny because the neighbors didn't like him, but they talked about how he converted it and made some money off of it. So he lived in one portion and then converted the garage and rented it out. I know that's not you, Tracy.
I'm twitching because you took a garage and did something else with it. Stop the madness.
So-
No, that sounds like a great.
It's a great strategy, and it's actually very common for people to convert their garages.
Oh,
I
gosh, you
wanna
guys are
say-
killing me here.
As long as it,
I lived in it and didn't know it till a neighbor told me.
Doug has
That's
two
the-
garages, so he loves garages, obviously.
Doc has two
Yes,
garages.
You can
Two
have
and
two
a half.
units.
No, he has 2.5.
You can, those honestly,
rent
those
those out and make
garages,
money.
he could do a 2-bedroom.
The HOA won't allow it.
That's always not gonna happen.
They don't need to know. No, the conversions do need to be legal. You need to be
Yeah.
permitted, and you need to make sure that, because otherwise resale value is not going to be the same.
Yeah.
So,
There and honestly, because there are some other conversions that the guy did that weren't legal, and they had problems with it when they tried to sell it back in the day. So,
Yep.
Let me ask you something. It's kind of along the lines of something you mentioned before, and it's funny because you guys are like, oh, tech geeky about it, and even when she said hack, even though it had nothing to do with like IT, you guys both lit up like, oh, it's some hack. It's
Tell me
hacking,
more.
right?
Tell me more.
That was freaking hilarious from over here. But okay, so when I was in the DMV area, the DC area, the cost of living there is kind of
Not the
always
Department of Motor Vehicles.
not that. This is called the DMV area
DMV.
because it's
Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. I know.
DC, Maryland, Virginia.
My
That's
bad.
close. Yeah,
Delaware.
close. DC, that's close.
Wait.
You know what? Delaware always gets left out. I mean,
So
We had to mention Delaware.
shout out
Shout
to
out to
Delaware.
Delaware,
shout out
y'all.
to Delaware. I used to go roller skating in Delaware because they had a better rink than DC.
Of course he
Did-
did.
I would drive to
if you
Delaware.
drove 30 minutes, you were outside of Delaware.
Yeah, you could drive through it if I was speeding, though. So, but no. So, in the DC area, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, the cost of living has been kind of ridiculous. And it's not like so. When you pay more to live in California, for the most part, or you pay more to live in New York, a lot of the salaries surrounding the area are commensurate with what you're paying to live there, right? DC, that has never been the case because ultimately DC is it's high in government, but it's still government salaries, which are capped at much lower than corporate salaries are, right?
Right.
But it's still not uncommon to spend the same amount of money that you'd spend in New York or LA or
Yes.
on a place to live.
But this is why I said it's a good strategy for
yeah.
Burr, because you're forcing appreciation.
Right.
When you buy a property that's dilapidated and you fix it up, you're making that price go up.
Right.
It's not going to go up on its own, and you're not dependent on the market. You're dependent on your upgrades.
Right,
Make sure you don't
okay.
over upgrade and you're not spending too much. But
You brought up a term that I like, and is used a lot in commercial real estate with the apartment complexes, which is forced appreciation, which go out and read a book on it. I'm not an expert. I read a lot of books and talked to some people. But yeah, forced appreciation I love in the commercial space, or I love to hear about in the commercial space, because you actually can increase the value and then sell and buy bigger by improving and increasing the rents over time, and then ultimately increasing the value of the property.
yeah, forced appreciation is basically when you make the value of your property go up, whether it's residential or commercial. It's the same concept. So you buy a single family home, and the single family house has an addition in the back that is unused, that's wasted space, or whatever the case may be. You close it out and you convert it into an apartment, you permit it. Now you have 2 units on that property. You're forcing the property value to go up. So that's the basics of
And you
Love
house
it.
hacked it, baby. House hack.
There you go.
house hack it, and then
Slash.
you're living good.
Love it.
So one thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put all of Rena, the realtor's information on our video somewhere in the screen. So here, there, whatever. You guys know the drill.
Tracking.
I don't know if I'm gonna track all that.
Track.
So we're gonna put all her information. Reach out to her. She can definitely help you, especially if you're in Florida. She can take care of you. She's very knowledgeable. She's been doing this for a long time, and she's very good at what she does.
Yes, I
You've
am.
seen her knowledge. She's been great with us today in the show. So reach out to her.
I think he said this, and I just want to say it one more time so no one tries to like come back and.
Bite
Oh, we're going to put a disclaimer on the episode.
Oh yeah. So like you guys said numerous times, this is not financial advice. Right.
Well, one thing that I do want to make clear is whether or not it's a good market to buy, whether or not it's, a seller's market or buyer's market. Right now it's a seller's market, by the way.
Woo, woo. I mean, I'm not selling, but that's a good.
Whether or not it's a seller's
We'll
market or
let
a
you
buyer's
know.
market, whether or not you buy or not, the numbers just have to work for you. They don't have to work for anyone else. They have to work for you. They have to work for your finances. You have to be comfortable with the payments. You have to be comfortable with how much money you are paying for the house. So if it's $400,000, $500,000, you have to be okay with that. And the market determines the value of the home. Yes, great, but you have to be okay with that. As long
Absolutely.
as you're okay with that, rates come and go, everything else come and go. The type of loan can be refinanced, the interest rates can be refinanced. If you are okay with that financially, go for it.
What was that term you used about dating somebody?
Date the rate, marry the house.
Where's my key
That's a
sweat? Can I
soundbite.
get some key sweat? Can I get
That's a soundbite.
Can I get some key sweat?
We'll get some
Bounce.
key set on post-production, both silent, so we don't get strike. So there you have it, folks. There you have it. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Rena, you had a good time with us?
I had a wonderful time. You guys are awesome. Invite me back.
You are awesome. We appreciate
Oh yeah,
that.
you're
info.
killing it. We'll have you
Yeah.
back.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Reed, do us a big favor and take us home.
Hey, listen. Thank you for watching us. We are constantly committed to bringing out new content, new information that's informative and entertaining. Go ahead and bang that like button. We know you want to.
Go ahead and bang it.
Go ahead and bang it. We'll wait.
Like and subscribe, baby.
We'll catch you
Oh,
next
yeah.
time. This is the playbook.
Rena the Realtor checking out.
Later.
Deuces.